Hello, and thank you for calling the Lessons in Wisdom call. My name is Issachar Bey, and I am the Senior Director of the Temple of Enlightenment International Spiritual Center. I want to thank you for taking the time to be on this call tonight. We're excited about where we are headed and where we are now in consciousness. For we declare and decree that consciousness is our only reality. It is the ability to create our own reality that puts us in the right place at the right time to meet the right people. It also allows us to be able to magnetize to us the very things that we are. For you don't get out of life what you want. You only get out of life what you become. And I want to thank all of you for being on the call tonight. Looking at where we are now in the month of September, we are continuing our teaching on prosperity. We will be talking about our prosperity for the continuation of the month of September, and we are excited about this teaching. I wanted to elaborate a little bit about prosperity because I think that in getting, as the Bible says, in all thy getting, get understanding, right? To be able to understand what it is that we are going to be studying. What is prosperity? Prosperity can be categorized, can be defined as the consciousness of God as the abundant, everywhere present resource, unfailing, ready for all who open themselves to it through faith. Prosperity is based on the conscious possession of the idea of God's abundant back of all things. Things appear as it commands. Jesus had no visible possessions, but he could supply thousands of people with food through praising and giving thanks to the invisible spirit of plenty, that invisible spirit of plenty, that the intangible supply. The difference between spiritual prosperity and material prosperity is that spiritual prosperity is funded on understanding the omnipresent substance of spirit as the source of supply. The material belief is that the possessions of things constitute prosperity. And so we understand that if you have spiritual prosperity, it's almost expected for you to have material prosperity, because that which you consume or that which you create in spirit in the intangible realm will be made manifest in the physical realm. So if you have the spiritual prosperity, the omnipresent substance of spirit as your source of supply, I happened to be talking to, did a consultation this week with somebody, and we were talking, and they were mentioning that they wanted to do something, but they didn't have the money to do it. And I said, wait a minute. There is never a lack. You have the money. All you got to do is manifest it. You already have the money. We should never make excuses or put ourselves in a position of not being able to do something or to have something because we give ourselves the excuses. You should always be able to remove the excuse that says, you know what, I am going to do this because I have the money to do this. I am money. I am prosperity. And if you operate in that consciousness, you will be able to manifest and bring those things into existence. In demonstrating prosperity, you should praise and give thanks for every little evidence of financial improvement. Giving is the right mental attitude that creates prosperity. Giving with the fear of lack leads to poverty. Giving with the thought of a large resource opens a way for a large income. They always used to say this: what you give away, you keep. And that which you hold on to, you lose. Because you got to realize this: that which you give we operate in circulation, will come back to you. Whatever you release is going to be circulated towards you. That's why I tell people all the time, be very careful of how you treat people, be very careful of what you do to people, and be very, very careful of what energy that you release, because we live in a world of circulation. Whatever you release will come back to you. That's why you have to be very careful of your intention, of how you feel, how you treat people, how you operate, how you handle people. And it's very important, the energy, the intention that we use. And so I'm one to believe that in this month of September, those of you that, I don't know if you guys were on that call Sunday morning, those of you that operated and begin to utilize the new moon, which was Monday, and then also I see here that we are entering the new Jewish holiday, and so I think it's 5782, the new Jewish holiday, Rosh Hashanah. And so we begin to look at some things here and what kind of year it's going to be and so forth. But the best way to predict the future is to create it. And if you have the ability to create your own future by what you do intuitively, what you do in your imagination, in your mind and consciousness, what happens is that you're no longer afraid of the future. I believe that your thoughts prophesy your future. Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That word heart metaphysically means subconscious mind. As a man thinketh in his subconscious mind, so is he. Your thoughts prophesy your future. That's why it's so important that when we start discussing prosperity principles, that we understand that, when we start talking about, when people start hearing about, oh, I'm going to show you how to manifest money, and I'm going to show you how to, manifest abundance, everybody runs to those kind of classes. But what people don't realize is that you're running to those classes because you want to be able to manifest those things in the physical spectrum, right? You want to be able to run to those classes so that you can manifest the tangible money to buy things, money to enjoy, money to live with. But you don't understand that in order to get that, it starts from the spiritual atmosphere. And a lot of us don't want to do the work of doing it on the spiritual realm. We want to get rich kick scheme. We want to get rich quick endeavor, and you can't do it that way. We are not in the game of get rich quick. We're in it for longevity, for legacy, that we leave these concepts, these precepts, these teachings of financial freedom, financial abundance, and prosperity for our children's children, that it will be passed down from generation to generation. And so we have to be able to look at things from the spiritual connotation, that I need to actually work this thing in the spiritual realm. One of the things that has always been important to me in dealing with prosperity is when you operate in prosperity consciousness, your eyes change. What you see begins to change. You start seeing things differently. And one of the first things that change when you are operating in a prosperity consciousness is that problems begin to look as opportunities for growth. A lot of times when problems come, we run away or we become afraid. A lot of times we worry. A lot of times we also look at and make our problems so much bigger than they are. We put the magnifying glass on our problems and make them look so much bigger by magnifying them 10 times, 20, 30, 40, 100 times bigger than what they are. And so now the problem becomes bigger than us, when in actuality, we are bigger than the problem. But when you're looking at life through the prosperity consciousness lens, you're seeing problems as opportunities for growth. Problems are created for growth. Problems are created to expand your consciousness and to get you to not only just have the knowledge, but learn how to apply it and utilize it. Problems also are giving you the ability to get wisdom. And so these are the things that are needed. The next thing is your self-image and your thought life, right? Images that are left unchecked will take root in your life. No one can make you feel insecure without your permission. How you see yourself is very important. How you see yourself is extremely important in how you see yourself. And we have to come to the realization of first understanding who you are. When you come into a level of self-awareness and self-knowledge, you eliminate the spirit or the consciousness of inferiority. Maybe I'm not the best. Maybe they are better than me. And so people who you think are better than you, you try to dress like them, you try to act like them, you try to do what they do, you try to have what they have, you try to be what they are, and only to find out really that who you thought they were was not even half of what you are. Because you were so busy connecting to the outside perspective of things. You were so busy looking at things from the outward perspective that you didn't even come to a place where you were able to say, wait a minute, you know what? I can't allow myself to be like somebody else because I think that person is in a good position. I think they're doing financially well, but you can't judge a book by its cover. We would never look at man from the outside, but we look at man from the inside. Listen to this call, or those on the call tonight. You will always know a tree by the fruit that it bears. An apple tree can't give you oranges. An orange tree can't give you apples. You will always know a tree by the fruit that it bears. Always look at the fruit. When you change the image of who you are and you realize who you are and you realize that the God in you resides in you, the God in you is in you as you, becoming you, and you realize what you're doing and how you're operating in your purpose and destiny in life, it's just amazing when you begin to look at that in that regard. People can't make you feel inferior without your permission. I used to tell people all the time, nobody can hurt your feelings without your permission, which means that if somebody or something has hurt your feelings, it's because you agreed with what they said, or you took what they said and took it as being true. And you have to understand that you have the ability to make things as what they are. Call not those things that be not as though they were. And so we operate in a millionaire's consciousness. We operate in the prosperity consciousness, right? We operate at a level of consciousness that we understand that we can create our own reality, that we can shift our lives where we are to where we need to be. We can make the necessary shift that we need to do. So I have to ask you that we got to make sure that we are in alignment with our level of consciousness. I cannot let anybody make me feel inferior. I can't make anybody let me feel that I'm not who I am. Nobody can hurt my feelings. Nobody can tell me who I am or what I need to do, or because you know who you are, You know where you're going, and any changes that need to be made, you make the changes. You make the changes on the inside. And we have to learn how to control our feelings. And what I mean by that is that you need to be able to control your feelings, because feelings are the magnetism power that pulls things in. They always say misery loves company, right? If you ever see somebody who's been miserable, that's what they do. They try to come and make everything around them become miserable as well. And that's why they say misery loves company, because if you're miserable, you will start magnetizing and bringing everything to you that is miserable. And if something is in your presence that's not miserable, you'll try to make it miserable too. So you got to be careful about the feeling nature. You need to control your feelings, that you always feel that I'm blessed. I always feel like I'm operating in prosperity. I always feel that I'm having a great day. I always feel that I'm operating that my life is full of success, abundance, and joy, right? Because the feeling nature is what pulls it in. Regardless of what is actually going on in the physical reality, your ability to control your feelings, you're basically telling the universe that regardless of what's going on, I have joy because I have the feeling of joy. I have abundance because I have that feeling of having abundance. Neville teaches us living from the wish fulfilled, right? How would it feel if you won the lotto? And then he tells you to hold on to that feeling, because if you hold on to that feeling long enough, the universe will actually say, "Oh my God, this person did get a winning. They did win this money," and it will now make it so that the universe will create events to make things happen. And so we want to be able to really lock in with that. A man, or when I say the word man, I'm going to substitute it for mind. But I would say this: a man isn't great because he hasn't failed, but because failure was not able to stop him. I want to reiterate that again. I want to say this: a mind isn't great because he hasn't failed, but because failure hasn't stopped him. In my consciousness, failure is not an option. And when failure is not an option, that means that we keep going. We make adjustments. There's more than one way. They always say there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? Failure is not an option. For you, for me, everybody on this call, failure is not an option. Winners never quit, quitters never win. I wanted to talk tonight about these 10 prosperity principles, 10 prosperity principles to creating wealth, right? And these principles are double-fold principles because I believe they work on the spiritual realm as well as the physical realm. And we understand that everything must happen in spirit before it can happen in natural reality. We just went over the Lord's Prayer. Those of you who, what I did was I ended up doing a call on Sunday night. So if you go to the YouTube page, you can actually listen to the Millionaire of the Bible series where it's talking about prosperity from the Lord's Prayer. And one of the things we talked about in the Lord's Prayer says, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Heaven represents your mind. As it is in your mind, so shall it be on earth, right? So we look at the double fold of having things being created in the intangible realm to therefore be converted into the physical reality. The first principle I want to talk about is wealth grows wherever men exerts his energy. Wealth grows wherever men exerts his energy. Where you put your focus is where the power flows. What are you focused on? where you put your energy, wealth always increases whenever your energy is focused in its direction. Maintaining focus means in keeping your eyes fixed in the direction of your goal. So if we're going to have uh, put our energy towards becoming wealthy, we got to be able to look at that from that perspective. Now, my definition of wealthy is the ability to finance one's dreams. That's my definition of being wealthy, is the ability to finance one's dreams, which means that whatever dreams, goals I have, I'm able to finance them at any given time. But in order to get to that level, we have to be able to put our energy there. When you put your energy and your effort and your mindset, things begin to open up, things begin to happen now, because that's where you're focusing your energy at. When money is working for you, it generates wealth. When money is working for you, it generates wealth. And we'll talk about that. Matter of fact, I'll kind of dive into that a little bit right now. You know, last year during the pandemic, I jumped into the stock market. Actually, by way of, people, when the pandemic first happened, everybody was talking about stocks, and it's whatever reason, this is another thing, following divine guidance. Spirit kind of led me into really started studying the stock market and studying these gurus who were teaching on stocks. And so I began to jump in the stock market and begin to learn about trading options and puts and calls and just looking at the whole spectrum of the stock market. And, I jumped in and I did very well, but at the same time, it still is a learning experience, right? Learning the different aspects of it, But what I learned is that the greatest thing in the world is to see you invest in something and it makes money. To actually put money in a position to where money is designed to work. Money is designed to move. Money should never be stagnant, which means that all of our money should actually be working for us. We all should be in investments and in stocks and, whether you're buying real estate, we all should be looking at how can I make my money work for me? Because money is designed to constantly move. It's called currency, and currency is designed to keep moving the current. Currency is not designed to stand still. And so, when you look at it from that perspective, the next thing I want to talk about is opportunity wastes no time for the unprepared. Now, let me elaborate on this. When I say the unprepared, those of you that are listening tonight, a lot of us, we don't know everything about money. We don't know everything about the financial market, the financial sector. No, we don't know that at all. But guess what? We have the ability to operate in that level of consciousness, which means that we start studying stuff. There's YouTube videos. You can start picking up the Money magazine, Forbes magazine. You can start picking up the Financial Times. You can start saying, wait a minute, if I'm going to be a millionaire, if I'm going to be a multimillionaire, I need to start thinking and operating like a millionaire. I need to start seeing what other millionaires are doing. I need to see how they operate, how they do certain things business-wise, how their level of consciousness operates. And you do that by studying them, by studying their languages, their movements, by studying the wisdom, right? But what that does now, that gets you to be prepared, because you're studying the Financial Times, studying Forbes. You're reading about the Fortune 500 companies. You're reading about how this company started from nothing and it worked its way up to being a Fortune 500. You're listening to CEOs tell you their stories from rags to riches and how they became to be at the top of the game now when they started at the bottom. So those of us that want to operate in the prosperity consciousness, it's not just about talking, but it's also about doing. We got to put ourselves in a position to do that. Now, we just said that your mind is a magnet, and it magnetizes to you the very thing that you have on it. Do you know, how many of you on this call know that if you start really focusing and putting your direction on money and wealth, what would happen? Do you know that if you took an hour or two every day and said, I'm going to focus on studying and operating about money and finances and wealth, what would happen? Do you know what would happen? Because we just said wealth grows wherever man exerts his energy. And if you're putting your energy in that direction, remember, we operate in circulation. Whatever energy I'm exerting to wealth is coming right back to me in circulation. I'm operating in the intangible realm, but I'm also understanding that it's going to be a conversion into my physical reality. Once one must be prepared to greet opportunity when he or she presents herself. There is nothing more frustrating than to have a dynamic opportunity appear in your life, yet your lack of preparation force you to decline the offer. Too many people can recite the litany of missed opportunities because they weren't prepared financially, emotionally, educationally. Some people miss opportunity through fear of success, some through the fear of failure. Missed opportunities will plummet you to the depths of despair and haunt you with cries of, I could have, I should have, I would have. And so I tell people this all the time. I never want to be in a position of I could have, I would have, I should have, because I just always felt that I had the ability to create my own reality, that I can put myself out there and really do what I needed to do. And so I'm believing that this is what we need to do. This is what we need to put ourselves in a position that we are ready. You know, I'm a book person. I love reading books. I buy books like women buy shoes. So as people buy shoes, women buy shoes, I buy books. And when I buy books, I'm constantly in the bookstores. One of my favorite places to go, of course, is Barnes & Nobles. So I go to Barnes & Nobles, and I start picking up the magazines. I go get the money magazines. I go get the Forbes magazines. I go get the entrepreneur magazines, and I sit down and read the articles. And I sit down and start studying about, you know, how these CEOs are creating these companies and what they're using and what's the new technology out. And, you know, and then, of course, last year, because I got into the stock market, you know, this year I'm kind of moving into getting a greater understanding of the cryptocurrency and digital currency and so forth, and getting into that specter, right? But at the same time, you know, you take it day by day. You don't have to learn everything in one day, but don't be afraid of it, because this is where the world is changing and operating and moving into. And so we have the ability to get in a position. Spirit is getting us into a position of where we need to be. And we can't be afraid of success. We can't be afraid of change. But understanding that we want to always be prepared mentally, spiritually, emotionally, by putting our efforts and energies into those positions. And then, as I said before, money is designed to work for you. And so I believe that even anybody on this call, you know, you should be taking a percentage of what you make on your job and start investing it, putting it into stocks. Guess what? Go around your house and start looking at the different companies. Say, you know what? I have Colgate and this toothpaste, and I drink Tropicana orange juice. I drink Coca-Cola soda. These companies and things, the products that you use, start looking at these products and say, you know what? I need to start investing in these products because I buy these products. Why not own a piece of them? Why not become part owner of the companies, of the products that you use? Go around the house and look at the different products and the different things that you have in your house that you can actually invest in. You can go get a piece of Coca-Cola. You can go buy a piece of Amazon. Almost everybody on this call probably has ordered from Amazon or uses Amazon all the time, right? Ordering books and products and stuff, having it shipped, right? Investing in Uber Eats, because during the pandemic we weren't going outside, so everybody was having everything delivered, right? Uber Eats and Grubhub and all of these different things, right? And then we find out that somebody may say, well, I don't have enough money to buy Amazon stocks because it's so expensive, but they have what's called EFTs, and EFTs are where I can own a piece of Amazon, I can own a piece of Walmart, I can own a piece of Target, and all of that can be combined into one little stock, and I can buy that one stock that gives me a piece of ownership of each one of them little things, and they're called EFTs. So we can start somewhere, you know. Some of us can invest in real estate, you know, buy a property and rent it out or Airbnb it out or whatever the case may be. You know, we can come together and start making our money work for us. Money is not designed to just sit in your bank account, but it's designed to work for us. When money is working for you, it generates wealth. If you are working for money, then you are a slave. You might respond, I am not a slave. I work for myself. However, many are in bondage to the routine of working without experience the reality of being gainfully employed. Their lifestyle never fully gains economic strength. I owe, so off to work I go. I owe, so off to work I go. This speaks to your situation, then you are a slave at a higher level. For example, if you are earning if you're owning $50,000 a year, your living expenses are $50,000 also, then you are serving money, and money has become your master. We don't want money to become our master. We want to be able to become the master over money. I no longer want to work for money. I want money to work for me. And if you put your money to work for you and begin to create a system, and now listen, I'll tell you this. Everybody on this call, if you are serious about operating out of prosperity consciousness and you say, well, I don't know where to start, you can, like I said, pick up some magazines. You can start looking at YouTube videos of how to invest. You can go get the Robinhood app, the Webull app. And like I said, just look at some of the companies that you own. Look at the purses you guys have, the Gucci, the Louis Vuittons. You can actually own you can actually buy the stock of the company that owns the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton, the Tory Burch, the Coach bags, the Kate Spade, and all those different things, right? So these are the things that you can invest in. And you could take a piece of every time you get paid, take a few dollars out of your check and say, I'm going to invest in this. I'm going to invest in this. And I told you about the EFTs, which means that I may not have enough money to buy the Amazon stock or buy the Tesla stock because it's so expensive. But what I can do is I can get an EFT, which will give me a piece of this company and a piece of that company and a piece of this company, and put them all together in one stock where I can own a piece of, I can own the Coca-Cola products and the Johnson Johnson products and the Procter & Gamble products and so forth. But when you get into that and get into understanding, and then also get into the cryptocurrency thing and begin to study that And I know sometimes when you look at that stuff from the outside in, it seems like it's so much, so involved. But once you get into it, allow Spirit to guide you. Allow Spirit to connect you. Find a mentor. Find somebody that you can sit under that can guide you and lead you in positions that you need to be in. And trust me, last year when I jumped into the stock market, that's exactly what Spirit did. It put me in the position and put people in my way. Say, oh, man, I never heard about this guy. Begin to watch this guy. Now, I'm a person that really loves to research. So do your research. Do your due diligence. Don't just jump out there. But if you're moving in divine guidance, divine Spirit will put you in the right place at the right time. So you don't have to be afraid. And you take it step by step. We crawl before we walk. And so I just think that it's something that's magnificent. It's something that's purpose, that gives us purpose. You know, whether you are moving into entrepreneurship, whether you are creating your own business or continuing the business or whatever it is that you're doing, we still have to make sure that we are allowing our money to work for us. Money is designed to be your servant. Contrary to what popular demand says, living paycheck to paycheck was not God's ordained lifestyle for us. God wants you to keep and invest a portion of your income so that it will circulate and serve you. You should not be able to take a portion of whatever substance you receive and skillfully manage it so that it will bring increase into your life. But that's what happens. You're supposed to take a portion, just take a portion of what you bring in, your income, and begin to utilize it so that it can circulate and begin to now serve you. Money is designed to serve you and to keep multiplying and to continue serving you while it's continuing to multiply and continue serving you. A part of everything that you earn is yours to keep. A lot of times when you listen to billionaires and billionaires speak, they always say, pay yourself first. That's what they say. They say, pay yourself first and take a piece of it out for yourself. And so I agree with that. You definitely take a piece of it out for yourself. But we also want to make sure that we still stay in covenant because we understand the power of the tithe. And we understand that when you take a piece out for yourself, what it does is it enables you to activate and create more treasures in your bank account. It's God's desire for you to have money. He said, above all, I wish that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers, right? It's his design. It's his desire for you to have money. And then we're learning in the Millionaires of the Bible series that Jesus never taught against money. In fact, he's teaching us on Sundays, as we are in the Millionaires of the Bible series Nazareth, how to make money and how to use these prosperity secrets to create prosperity in our lives. Wealth is not determined by the amount a man has in his hands, but by his ability to create more substance. That's good all by itself. I'm going to say that again. Wealth is not determined by the amount of money you have in your hands, but wealth is determined by your ability to create more substance. True wealth is not found in a stationary amount of money that is stashed away. For when the amount is depleted, how should it be regained unless one has the ability to replace what was lost? So we begin to see here that that, as I said before, my definition of wealth was the ability to to finance one's dreams. And in fact, that's true, wealth is not determined by how much money you have, but the ability to create more substance, which means that your ability to create situations where your money continues to multiply and serve you, which means that the only way that we can do that is by putting money to work, and which means investing the money, allowing money to work through the stock market, through investments, through also real estate, and many different things that we can invest in to gain profit, because we're putting money to work. We're allowing money to circulate. When money doesn't circulate, it becomes stagnant. And we learn that which you let go of, you keep. But that which you hold on to, you lose. Wealth is reserved for those who understand its laws. If you abuse the universal ethic and integrity of money, then you will offend its character and cause money to flee from you rather than cleave to your presence. Understand how to operate and use money. Listen to this again. If you abuse the universal ethic and integrity of money, then you will offend its character and cause money to flee. I don't want the money to flee. I don't want it to flee me and leave and run away from me, but I want money rather to cleave to me, to run after me. I want money to chase me. I don't want to chase money. You never want to chase money. You always want money to chase you. And what I've learned through the time, this short time that I've been on earth, is that money chases ideas. That's what money chases. Money chases ideas. Money is currency, and currency is designed to flow. When your money is not moving in a beneficial direction, you are abusing the power of money. In the Bible, there was a parable about the talents. And after entrusting his talents on earth to his servants, he gave one talent to, one he gave 2 talents to, in the Bible, the parable of the talents. And after he entrusted his talents to each one of these servants, one could not show a profit because he had hidden the money. The money became stagnant and lacked movement. We cannot allow money to become stagnant. We got to keep money moving. One of the things that I made my declaration on for this year, even going into the years further. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, we need to start operating in 2022. We need to already start thinking, what are we going to be doing in 2022? How are we moving? What are we going to be manifesting? One of the declarations I'm having in 2021 and also in 2022 is I'm no longer exchanging time for money. I'm now exchanging wisdom for money. I am no longer exchanging time for money. I want to start now exchanging wisdom for money. So we need to move into a place where we are all allowing our money to be in circulation. We gotta have it in circulation. Are the talents and seed of greatness on the inside of you moving, or are they stagnant? In this hour, God is demanding movement. God demands that the currency we are blessed to oversee and have will become more pronounced, more utilized in the earth. A conductor of energy in order to fulfill its purpose. We need to start allowing money to move. Our talents, our gifts, our purpose. We need to be in movement. Everything must begin to move as currency, right? Consciousness is currency. right? And as you continue to operate and move your level of consciousness, you're moving the currency. Money works diligently for those who apply it to profitable work. The ears of money are always attentive to the voice of one who understands its purpose. Reverend Ike always taught us that money has ears. He's the first person that I ever heard say that. But he always used to say money has ears, and you have to be very careful of how you talk to money. But I believe if you call money, money will show up. He's the first person that ever declared that to teach that money has ears. And if you speak the language of money and know how to speak to money, that money will show up. The ears of money are always attentive to the voice of one who understands its purpose. It is always willing to work when given something viable to perform. Money degenerates when left idle and will lose its energy and vitality. Work is merely the outgrowth of purpose, which money is compelled to fulfill. So we got to be in a position to where we're allowing money to work diligently as we apply it to profitable work. We put money in the best position that we can to enhance and to multiply and continue to serve us. Remember, we do not allow money to master us, but that we master money, and we now make money our servant. So the Bible says that the lack of money is it says that the love of money is the root of all evil, because if you love money, you'll do anything for it. But I kind of like the spin that Reverend Ike puts on it, because he says that the lack of money is the root of all evil, and that's true. Because where there's a lack of money, people will do anything to get it. People will do anything to survive, or do anything they can to get money, because money is what's needed to survive and to live and to thrive and to operate in this world. But if we moving ourselves into a level of consciousness where we become money, and we understand that money is no longer, it's not our master, but we master it. My definition of this, when the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil, to me what that's saying is that you have not allowed, by you allowing money to become your master, it's now the root to all evil that will come, because you're doing whatever you can do. You don't care who you hurt. You don't care what you do to get this money, because now you've made money your master. You have got to a place in you that money has mastered you. And because money has mastered you, you don't care about anybody, anything. You do whatever you got to do to get the money. And now money has become your master. We don't never want to be in that position. We want to be in a position now where money begins to serve us, and we become the master of money. We become the one that allows money to work for us. We put money in the best possible position to multiply. Money slips away from the unskillful who do not know how it should be guarded. If you are unskilled concerning the laws of wealth, then money will escape you. So this is another thing too, that's why I was saying that we need to start studying the language of money. We need to start picking up money magazines and seeing how money operates. And, every morning I like to turn on CNBC and watch it. And when I first started getting into the stock market, of course, you didn't understand what certain things are, certain words. Write the words down, look up the words, begin to start understanding when they start saying words that you don't understand what they mean, or they start talking about the S&P and they start talking about all these different things that you don't know what they mean. You begin to start studying and listening to CNBC, and it's great because CNBC begins to start talking about so many companies. Everybody on this call probably has watched Netflix before. Guess what? You can invest in Netflix. Everybody watches Amazon Prime. Everybody watches Disney Plus, or all these different companies, all these streaming companies that we watch, all of our favorite movies and TV shows that we watch. We can invest in those companies that put those TV shows out. So everything that we're doing, we can put our money in the best position to win. We can put our money in the best positions to operate. This is not a sales call. I'm not, promoting any companies or anything like that, but we just want to put ourselves in the best position to win. Everybody on this call is a winner. Winners always win. They never lose. Losing is never an option. And so in order to do that, we need to make sure that we are putting ourselves in the best position to win. Money will gravitate and bring increase towards those who possess wisdom. Now, I've always said this before. I hear people say all the time, well, I need to get another job, because I'm barely making it. I don't never have extra money. It seems like every time I have a little extra money, something happens, and I go 2 steps, 3 steps forward, get knocked 7 steps back. We hear all those kind of things. But I don't think getting a second job will suffice the issue, because the way that you're operating is showing that something is wrong in your operation, in your plan, in your strategy. So the one thing that you would need is not more money, but wisdom. Wisdom of how to operate and utilize what you have and reconstruct your system. Because if you reconstruct your system by using the wisdom, then at some point you will begin to realize that, oh, well, if I do it this way and I operate this way, and I switch this to this and I move this to this, now I can operate, and it seems like I can do some different things. And now I have some money now that I can take out and invest a portion, a piece of what I'll bring home income, and start investing so that I can start building. Now this whole call, this whole month of us teaching on prosperity, once again, is not a get-rich-quick scheme. We're in this for the long haul. We're in this for longevity. When the Lord came and saw what the other 2 servants had done with their talents, he said, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Remember, the hand of the diligent shall be blessed, but those who deal with a slack hand always tend towards poverty." And see, the difference between prosperity and poverty, they're both 2 sides of the same coin. Poverty is not a person that doesn't have anything or homeless. That's a mindset. Poverty is a mindset. Prosperity is a mindset. And so in order to elevate to that level of consciousness, we have to be cautious of how we are operating in that realm. Because I don't never want to be in a position where money runs from me. I want money to run towards me. Let me go back over this one more time. I just want to give you the 10. So the 10 prosperity principles to create wealth. Number 1, wealth grows wherever we exert our energy. Number 2, opportunity wastes no time for the unprepared. Number 3, money is designed to work for you. Number 4, money is designed to be your servant. Number 5, a part of everything you earn is yours to keep. Number 6, wealth is not determined by the amount of money you have in your hand, but by the ability to create more substance. Number 7, wealth is reserved for those who understand its laws. Number 8, money is currency, and currency is designed to flow. Number 9, money works diligently for those who can apply it to profitable work. And number 10, money slips away from the unskillful who do not know how it should be guarded. They often say that time is money. That's what they often say. But I believe at some point investing time can sometimes be more valuable than investing money, because money is the easiest thing to replace. You can't replace time. When I was growing up, I used to see in my family, when, there used to be a lot of arguments and stuff in my family because the men in my family were always working. They were always busy. But I've always grown up believing that even the women on this call, if you either want a broke man or a busy man, because a busy man, if he's out making money, time is money. He has to utilize his time. But at the same time, I know some of them would love to have his time, because the time that you spend with him is priceless. It can never be replaced. The time you spend with your kids, the time you spend with your loved ones. But I believe we can have a balance. I believe that we can have a balance. I believe that money can give you time. When you start investing your money and start allowing money to work for you, it gives you the time to spend with your family and spend with your loved ones. It gives you the ability to do those things. And so I'm excited about where we are in this month of September. It is my intention that the teachings tonight will begin to edify you and allow your mind to expand and put the fire under you to say, listen, I'm going to go out and start moving and operating in a prosperity consciousness. And I'm going to start looking at ways that I can put my money to work and look at ways of how I can move and elevate every day. Take an hour or 2 hours and begin to start just meditating on prosperity and how you can become a better steward over money and how to understand the laws of money and so forth. As a matter of fact, before this call, I actually went to Barnes and Nobles and began to look at some money magazines, and when you start focusing your attention and your spiritual mind and meditations on these things, everything changes in life. You start seeing things. Your appetite changes. So, the things that I used to have a craving for, I don't have a craving for anymore. But there's certain things that I have a craving for now. Now as I told you, I'm watching CNBC. I'm getting books on money. I'm studying stocks and investments, and I'm looking at annuities, and I'm just looking at so many different things, peer-to-peer lending, and so many different things of different aspects of money, of buying bonds, and all these different things that you learn, and you see how money is being made. And I think it's important that we allow ourselves to move and operate in this level of consciousness. I think everybody on this call, next year this time, you'll be far more greater and in a better place than you are now. Why? Because we're operating in this level of consciousness. And while we're operating in consciousness, consciousness is designed to currently move. We are not going to stay in the same place. We're going to evolve. And as we allow ourselves to not just listen to this teaching tonight, but to apply it. And once we apply the teaching that we did tonight, it only puts us in a better place to elevate and move like never before. And I'm excited. I'm excited about what it is that we're doing. Get your journals. Start writing things down. Start writing down the different things that you're learning about money, the different things that you want to learn about money, maybe some things that you may invest in. If you're walking around your house and see some of the things that you're wearing, the clothes that you're wearing, the products that you eat, the things that you buy. One of the things that I happened to invest in was Beyond Meat to the vegans and so forth. And we realized that during the pandemic that the Beyond Meat stock had started to go up. I mean, just different things, that you start noticing and you start seeing. Wherever there's a need, there's a problem of something being solved, Spirit will move and guide you in the right place at the right time. And I think that we all need to be in the right place at the right time to meet the right people. And I'm just excited of where we're going and how we're going to be able to manifest and move from where we are to a higher, greater level in consciousness. And so tonight, this month of September, Reverend Israel has been pressing me and telling me I need to shift. And so we're going to be operating in the prosperity seed for the month of September. And our prosperity seed that we're going to be operating under is the $91.11 seed, $91.11. And we talked about this on Sunday. The 9111 actually comes out to the number 12, which is really the number 3. But when we look at the number 12, we actually look at the 12 powers of man, the 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs. All of these things culminate and actually interlock with each other, right? And indwell within us as powers, as levels of consciousness, of being able to understand how to utilize them to begin to manifest and bring into life the very things that we want. The next thing also that I wanted to mention is that the $91.11 seed is the seed that will allow us to elevate and to also move into a greater level of self-expression, to be able to utilize that which is inside of us, the intangible, the unseen, the untouched, the unheard, but then transform it into the physical reality, to pour ourselves that nobody else can see and make it become a physical reality, self-expression. And I think that they're so powerful with what's going on in the world now and how we are operating and utilizing these things. So everybody, if you can, if you don't have the 9111 seed, whatever your best seed is, put it in the ground. Remember, we're not trying to get anything from you. We're trying to get something to you, because that which you let go of, you now keep. But that which you hold on to, you lose. Remember, currency, whatever we release, it circulates back to us 100-fold return. Who you sustain will determine how you get maintained. And so we operate in that, and we move in that level of expansion. There are 4 ways that you can sow the seed. The first way is going to be Cash App, which is going to be $TOESC. You can sow your seed there. We also have PayPal, which is going to be Issachar Bey, ISSACHARBEY @gmail.com. We also have Venmo, which is going to be at the @ Issachar, ISSACHAR-BEY. That's Venmo. And then we also have Zelle, which is going to be Issachar Bey @gmail.com. Once again, that's ISSACHARBEY @gmail.com. And those of you that will sow the prosperity seed of $91.11, and those of you that are going to sow your best offering, whatever it is that you want to put in the ground, we speak it into existence, that it will circulate back to you, multiplied by 100-fold return. And we speak it into existence. I also want to remind everybody on this call tonight to let's make sure that we are continuing to build our immune systems. We're moving into fall and into winter, and we understand that these are going to be some very great trying times. We also want to make sure that we are spiritually intact, and health is wealth, and that we want to build our immune system. So let's continue to go out, get your sunlight, go out, make sure you're taking the vitamins and different things that you need to do to boost your immune system, and that we are staying consciously healthy as well. Even though we are in our prosperity sector, we want to make sure that we also health conscious as well. So I want to definitely remind you to always make sure that we are continuing to build our immune system. And as we get ready to end this call, I want to invite you and remind you to join us on Sunday, as we will be in Chapter 6 of The Millionaires of the Bible, Nazareth. I invite all of you to come. Let's have a wonderful, great session. And until then, remember this one thing. Your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it's a matter of choice. Thank you, and good night.